Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Another Set of Eyes with today's Excel Bytes blog post. Today we're going to take a look at an option within Excel that allows you to filter the data in your pivot tables by time. It's called PivotTable Timelines. So let's take a look and see how this works. Here I have a pivot table that's set up from the table that I have on my Data tab. And you can see the various columns from date, product, division, type, etc. And one of the columns is date sensitive called date. So if I want to be able to filter my pivot table by time, I would just click on my pivot table and go up to the Analyze tab, and in the Filters group is a command called Insert Timeline. Excel will present an Insert Timelines dialog box that will list all of the columns from my table that are date sensitive. In this case, we only had one called date. So I'll select that one and say OK, and now Excel presents to me a pivot table timeline and adds to my ribbon a Timeline Tools Options contextual tab. Now here there are various things that we can do on this tab. One is change the style. If I click down here, you can see the various styles that are available. I can change the look and feel of my timeline. I can also change the width and height in the size group, or I can just grab the corners or sides of my pivot table and drag it. It's also an object, so I can move it anywhere within my worksheet. In the Show tab are 4 different options that can be selected or deselected. First one is Header, and that will display or remove the word date, which is the name of my timeline. If I uncheck that, that goes away. I check it, it returns. Selection label tells me the period that I have selected. Right now it says all periods. If I uncheck that, that goes away or that'll come back. I have a scroll bar here so I can scroll through the various months of my timeline. I can remove that by unchecking the scroll bar option or checking it to have it reappear. And I can also change the granularity of my timeline to years, quarters, months, or days, and the time level option will remove or display that. I'm going to widen it a little bit. You can see here it's showing me January through December of 2013 because that's the time period that my table covered. Now I can select, for example, any one month here, February. I check that, or I select that, and Excel filters my pivot table just showing the data for February of 2013. Notice there are 2 3-dot bars on each side of that, and I can hover over that and drag and extend the period that I want to reflect in my pivot table. Now, one thing I cannot do is show non-contiguous periods. So, for example, I can't select September, hold down my Control key, and pick June. It'll just switch to that month. But I can pick any multiple contiguous time periods to filter my pivot table by time. I can also change the periods to quarters or years or days, and I can get that granular. So I can select, say, for example, March 26th through April 7th, and my pivot table will reflect that accordingly. And up in the selection label area, it will show the period that I've chosen to filter my data by. When you have your data filtered, you will see a red X appear in the upper right corner next to the filter funnel icon. To clear the filtered data that you have, all you need to do is click on that, and it'll return the data to the unfiltered state. And there you have it. I hope you like what you see. If you do like what you see here, please take a minute to share this post on your favorite social network. I can be found on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to stop by my website, excel-bytes.com, and I hope you subscribe. So have a great day and happy excelling.